There will be a city on Mars in the year 2050. It will be humanity's second home, our first outpost away from the Earth.
The biggest thing that would set a Mars city apart from some other off-world colony, like a moon base, for example, is this idea of being self-sustaining.
You see, a person living on the moon could still return to the Earth as often as they like. There's only about 1 day of travel time between the two.
Mars is a different story. Now we are looking at 8 months of travel time one way from Earth.
That means the people of Mars cannot be dependent on the resources of Earth. They have to learn to harvest everything that the red planet has to offer, with the idea being that one day the ships from Earth will just stop. Whatever the reason for that might be, support from our home world will come to an end.
This is going to require around 1 million people or more to be living and thriving in a Martian city before anything goes wrong on Earth.
First, there were robots. The planet Mars will be inhabited by dozens, maybe hundreds of robots before any person ever sets foot there.
It can now also pick up significant payloads, such as this 11-kilogram battery tray, and carry it around autonomously without overheating.
It's probably not a coincidence that a sister company of SpaceX is making the exact technology that they're going to need to start building on Mars.
The thing about Mars is that it's just too far away and too inhospitable to simply launch a crew of human beings out onto the frontier. The surface of Mars is colder than Antarctica. It's drier than the Sahara Desert, but with even bigger dust storms. And even if you did stay safe inside your suit, you're still likely to get a heavy dose of radiation. This is why SpaceX has already made their plan to launch the first ships to Mars with Optimus robots on board. Optimistically,
one of the things we know about SpaceX is that they learn through trial and error, and oftentimes that means stuff blows up at first.
Two years after the first successful landing is when the first real colonial fleet arrives. 20 Starship.
Now, let's talk about where this Mars colony is going to be located. SpaceX has already identified the Arcadia region as a prime candidate for settlement.
when we talk about the infrastructure that the Optimus robots are going to be building for their future human comrades, there are two critical machines that they need to get up and running.
One is a water treatment plant. People need to drink, but water is really heavy. Just bring in enough of it to keep everyone alive on the 8-month journey.
But there are only so many times that you can turn last night's pee into this morning's coffee. Now,
for example, you can break water apart into two base elements, oxygen and hydrogen. So as part of the same process,
Then there's hydrogen. Not particularly useful for human consumption, but very important for making rocket fuel. Now, here's something to consider.
So a second big infrastructure project for the Optimus bots is going to be constructing a rocket fuel production plant.
Now there are some rockets that burn pure hydrogen as their fuel source, but it's not a popular choice because hydrogen is a very difficult element to work with.
It's hydrogen with a little bit of carbon mixed in. 1 carbon atom for every 4 hydrogen atoms, and that carbon just helps to stabilize the mixture.
Melting my jink. What little atmosphere Mars does have is mostly carbon dioxide, so a carbon capture device would be able to extract the necessary.
The structural integrity of the dome is remarkable.
And the air circulation is perfect.
Just 1 megapack can power a small town for a couple of hours. So keeping a small Mars colony alive overnight is actually more than doable.
It's hard to believe we are on Mars.
The air feels so fresh in here.